YouTube PC hardware reviews are everywhere these days, but they're seriously flawed. Most tech YouTubers focus almost entirely on gaming performance, acting like PCs exist only for gaming. This narrow mindset does more harm than good, giving people a completely wrong idea about GPUs and CPUs. What's worse, it also means great products often get overlooked, while average ones get hyped up over a few extra frames per second. Gaming reviews are too limited. The problem is simple: reviewers obsess over gaming benchmarks. They load up a few popular games, run pre-made tests, and declare the winner based on which GPU gets 10 more FPS. That's it. No thought about features, long-term usability, or anything beyond gaming. It's like judging a car only on how fast it can go on a straight road, and ignoring things like comfort, fuel efficiency, or safety. Gaming performance isn't everything. Features like NVIDIA's DLSS, reflex, or even hardware encoding make a huge difference. These aren't just gimmicks. They improve your experience in gaming and beyond. But many YouTubers barely mention them or treat them like they're no big deal. Meanwhile, AMD gets hyped for squeezing out a few more FPS in certain games, even if their software and features don't measure up. This approach misses the point. Modern GPUs aren't just about raw gaming performance anymore. They're tools for streaming, content creation, productivity, and so much more. By ignoring these aspects, reviewers are leaving out a huge chunk of what makes a GPU worth buying. Hypocrisy in the review scene. Here's something funny. The same YouTubers hyping up AMD and Intel GPUs in their videos almost always use NVIDIA in their personal rigs. That says a lot. NVIDIA is more expensive, sure, but there's a reason for it. They don't dominate the Steam hardware survey by accident. People can tell the difference between a good product and a bad one, and they're willing to pay for quality. Most reviewers don't use AMD or Intel GPUs long-term, so they don't see the issues that come up over time. Only smaller creators who actually test these GPUs for months tell the real story. And guess what? NVIDIA always holds the top spot in the GPU market because they're leading the way. If AMD and Intel were really better, they'd be dominating by now, but they're not. NVIDIA, the real innovators. NVIDIA is the one driving innovation. Whether it's DLSS, reflex, or frame generation, they're the ones coming up with game-changing features. AMD and Intel? They mostly copy these ideas, slap a cheaper price tag on them, and call it a day. But the problem is, they don't fully understand how these features work, so their execution always falls short. This is why NVIDIA's stuff feels smooth as butter. Their hardware and software work perfectly together. Meanwhile, AMD and Intel are constantly scrambling to fix their drivers and improve their software. It's like they're always playing catch-up but never quite reaching the same level. The benchmarking trap. Another issue is how reviewers rely on benchmarks. These pre-made tests don't reflect real-world usage. Sure, they give you a snapshot of gaming performance, but they don't show you the whole picture. Features like better ray tracing, machine learning capabilities, or even lower power consumption don't get the attention they deserve. Misleading consumers. This focus on FPS numbers misleads buyers. People end up picking GPUs that get slightly higher FPS but lack important features they'll need later. For example, AMD gets praised for having more VRAM, but NVIDIA's DLSS and better driver support make a much bigger difference in the long run. AMD GPUs often get hyped up in reviews, but when you look at the details, it's clear their FSR isn't as good as DLSS, and their drivers can be hit or miss. These are things that get glossed over in most YouTube reviews, leaving consumers with the wrong idea. The need for change. The YouTube PC hardware review scene needs a major shakeup. Reviewers have to stop obsessing over gaming and start looking at the bigger picture. Productivity, software compatibility, power efficiency, and long-term usability matter just as much, if not more, than raw gaming performance. Conclusion. It's time for tech reviewers to stop treating FPS as the end-all, be-all of GPU reviews. NVIDIA's dominance in the market isn't just about performance. It's about innovation, smooth software, and features that actually matter. Until reviewers start acknowledging this, consumers will keep getting misled, and the PC hardware space will stay stuck in this broken cycle. NVIDIA is number one for a reason, and unless AMD and Intel start creating their own innovations instead of copying, they'll always be playing catch up.